Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, Tom's talking triggers, gun rights, your range reports, and more. Call in now, 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, settle in. We're about to have some gun talk. We'll be talking about guns for another 3, 4, 5. I actually never stop. Who knows how many hours we're going to be talking about guns today? Well, on the air, a few hours. We'll be having some fun. By the way, I'm Tom Gresham. I am your host. I talk about guns a lot, whether it's what gun to buy, what gun to shoot, how to shoot them, what kind of ammo, what caliber, what kind of scopes, doesn't matter. We'll talk about just about anything. We are the go-to place for information about guns and shooting and gun rights. If you have any thoughts about that, you can join us. If you have some information to share, a gun you've taken to the range, something you discovered, something maybe you purchased. We love it when people spend money on guns. I figured out a while ago that my whole life has been devoted to turning money into noise. This doesn't matter if it's an internal combustion engine or a gun. It just seems that almost everything I do involves turning money into noise. Now, my wife says that's a guy thing. It may be, but that's okay. I'm okay with that, actually. It works very well for me. We're always looking for your range reports. 866-TALK-GUN is the number here, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. That will certainly get you in there. We have been having some fun around here shooting some video for TV. I got to tell you a little bit about that. Did some first-person defender shoots about a week or so ago, but then this past week, we got out to the range with some actors and stuntmen who had signed up to take a class on shooting, to learn how to handle firearms, to look better, to know what they're doing. It's a 5-day class. I mean, this is a big deal. Starting off, and they're going to shoot everything, rifles, pistols, kind of get their hand on everything. So I'll tell you a little bit about that and what that was. That was tons of fun, which brings me to the question, what are the things in movies and TV that just drive you crazy about gun handling? Stuff that you look at and you go, oh, no, I can't believe they did that. Oh, not again. What is the stuff that just makes you cringe when people are handling or shooting guns in movies or on TV? You know that there's stuff there. I know there's a number of things that drive me nuts. Today we'll also be talking about, there's a new Cabela's megastore in Virginia. The Washington Post takes note of that. Now, you'll love this. Okay, you gotta love this. The Washington Post, pretty left-leaning, they have the story about the new Cabela's megastore in Virginia. And one of the lines I love in this is, this opening, many shoppers said, was proof that Donald Trump's America is thriving even near the nation's capital. The megastore, about 35 miles up the road from the White House, is the company's 86th location, and it's closest to Washington. Donald Trump's America, even near the nation's capital, only 35 miles from the White House, a store that sells guns. Oh, my heavens. I was just happened to be tuned in to MSNBC a couple of days ago. It was one of those aha moments. And you're listening to, this panel of people yell at each other. And they start, and it's really actually, it drives me nuts, but it's also good because when they start doing it and they're talking really fast, they stop thinking about what they're saying and how it would be perceived. And they start saying things in a way where it really exposes who they are and how they feel and what they think, the far left. And the line that got my attention was this woman, I have no idea who she was. And they're talking about, well, they were talking about the politics, the Russia investigation to this or that, who knows, it was something. But the part that got my attention was they're saying, well, will the average person out there care about this? Will the average person really understand this? Basically what they're saying is, out there in Trump country. And this woman says, well, she says, I'm not talking about dodo heads. I'm talking about people with college educations. Huh. In their view, if you don't have a college education, you are a dodo. You are an idiot. You are, as Gene Wilder put it in Blazing Saddles, morons. 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about, some of the things that are going on in the courts, but also, did you see another toddler has been tossed out of school for picking up a stick that was shaped like a gun, supposedly, and saying bang, bang. She was suspended. What are your thoughts about that? What can we do about that? 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022 style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
There's only one place where you can buy that firearm you've always wanted and turn it into your very own. That place is Brownells.com. Now offering a huge selection of firearms from all your favorite brands. Brownells is the spot to buy online. When you're choosing your gun, be sure to look over the enormous selection of parts, accessories, ammo, and more to make that firearm your masterpiece. Brownells.com. Serious about firearms.
Okay, so I think it was North Carolina. I think she's a 5-year-old girl. Is out on the playground. They're playing, and she's a princess, and they got her friends there, and they're playing some game, and she's the protector or the guard or something. She picks up a stick that's on the ground, and she points it at people and says, basically, bang, bang, I'm protecting, blah, blah. Some child rat runs in and says, she's got a gun, or she's acting like she has a gun. The teachers throw a conniption fit because, of course, they are either unwilling, unable, or prohibited from using common sense and or judgment. The girl gets a 1-day suspension for picking up a stick, they say, which was roughly in the shape of a gun. and making bang-bang sounds. Now, I'm not sure exactly what would happen. Well, actually, I am sure. The exact same thing would happen if you just pointed a finger and said bang-bang. At some point, we must regain control of our schools, which is to say we must regain control of raising our children and grandchildren. This is one of those times when I'm going to once again say this, and it will fall on deaf ears, because it works so well and no one will do it. And that is this. If you want to change what your schools are doing, there are only two words you need. Show up. Show up. Attend school board meetings. Week after week, month after month, you're sitting there. That's just you and your buddies, whether it's a bunch of ladies, a bunch of men, you go there every time they have it, you go to an early dinner and you go there. And you're just there. And after a couple of weeks, they're going to say, who are you guys? I mean, they are, trust me. Because they're going to look out there and see that you're there every time, because nobody's there every time, other than maybe a lobbyist. Who are you guys? We're the ones who are here to make sure you guys get rid of that zero tolerance policy you have. Oh, yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, well, see, we're watching you guys, and we're making notes, and we're going to make it our life's mission to make sure that you're not on the school board next time around, because you have to stand for election. And anybody that won't get on board on this is gone. We will spend our time and our money to do this because this is about our kids and our grandkids, and it's that important. It's just unbelievable. Now, there's one other thing we need to do. We have to call for immediate action on the school. We must get there with our chainsaw. We must call for this tree to be cut down immediately because it has thrown a firearm-shaped object onto school grounds. We cannot let this stand. The tree must go. Line 2, Byron is with us out of Nevada. Hey, Byron. Yes, sir. Hey, Byron, you there? Oh, he's going through a dead zone. Well, it happens. I'll tell you what, just see if you can get him back there while we're doing that, because he's got a thought on this. And I guess the question is, do you think it's important? I mean, that's ultimately, we do decide what's important, don't we? We may tell people what we think's important, but that's not really what we think's important. How can you tell what's truly important to someone? It's the thing that he or she spends time on. If you won't spend time on it, it's not important. If you just talk about it and you won't spend time on it, it's lip service, but it's not important to you. So this is going to continue. We're going to continue to have schools have these idiotic zero tolerance policies. Well, we shall see. Oh. Did you happen to see the news release this week? One of the coolest looking rifles I've seen in a while. Ruger introduced the Ruger Gunsite Scout Rifle in .450 Bushmaster. Holy smoke, is that one smoking hot looking rifle. Wood stock, short barrel, integral muzzle brake, bolt action, single stack, detachable box magazine, .450 Bushmaster, 250 grain bullet going roughly 2,200 feet per second, shooting. These things are coming in like an inch groups. Of course, you're shooting almost a half inch group every time a bullet hits the paper. A 45 caliber bullet. Awesome. And now, not inexpensive, as you know. The ones built on the 77 Action, the Scout rifles, are not necessarily cheap. This one has an MSRP of, I think it's $11.99, and it'll be selling for $1,050. But wait, he said, if you like the idea of a short bolt-action rifle in .450 Bushmaster, Ruger has something for that for you too, and half the price. They have their Ruger American, less expensive rifle in .450 Bushmaster. Same deal, single stack, detachable box magazine, $599 MSRP. And I'm looking online. There's a, believe it or not, there's a, of course it would be, right? A website, 450bushmaster.net, with lots of information there. And people are posting groups, and I mean, they are getting 1-inch groups out of this. It is really a cool cartridge. It's actually, when you look at it, in performance, it's kind of a 4570. Are we going back 125 years? Kinda. Better bullets, of course. And it's higher pressure so they can get, a couple of 100 feet per second more out of it. If you took the 4570 up in pressure, you could certainly do the same thing. But in factory ammo, it's unlikely somebody's going to do that. Any ammo maker is going to do that, simply because there are some really old guns chambered for the 4570. The Trapdoor Springfield is the one that comes to mind. If you're shooting a Marlin lever action, you could hand load it a little hotter. If you're shooting a Ruger #1 single shot, you could load it up to pretty close to 4.58 Win Mag velocities. Pretty interesting. Let's go to line 3. Parker's with us out of Carson City, Nevada, talking about this. Parker, as you look at this thing where this kid gets kicked out of school for picking up a stick that's shaped like a gun, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel like the school's being run by a bunch of idiots. I have an idea that might cause the schools a little problems for when they do this, okay. And that is to have the parents of the child sue the school because the school allowed a piece of an object that looks like a gun to be on their playground where little kiddies can pick them up.
I love the nuisance factor of it, if nothing else. Here's how schools work, and I can just tell you, if they get sued, if they get challenged, they'll just say, well, number one, did we have a policy? And number two, did we follow the policy? If so, we're good. It really is as simple as that. Did we have an established written policy, and did we follow the policy? It doesn't matter if the policy makes no sense or is idiotic. We had a policy, we followed it, so we're not liable for it. Basically, take a number. We have 14 suits against the school right now. You'll be number 15. They just don't care. The school doesn't care. The only entity that really matters in all of this is the school board.
Uh-huh.
So, now, if this was now, did you say this was a private daycare?
Pardon me?
I'm sorry. No, I said somebody else said. So this, I guess what I'm trying to say is if it's a public school, the school board is the only thing that matters. That's the only place you're going to get any action going. The principal is not going to override the policy of a school board, not if he or she wants to keep a job. Now, if it's a private company, not part of the public school system, now you have access to other people and other leverage points and you can get to. But if it is a public school, it is school board all the way. Parker, I appreciate the call. That I know what you mean. It makes me a little bit crazy. For those who haven't followed the arc of this is not something that has happened standing on its own. We have had kids get expelled for pointing a finger. I mean, we're talking about 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, little kids, pointing a finger and going bang, bang while they're playing on the school grounds. The most famous one, of course, was the one where a kid ate his Pop-Tart and in the process looks down and part of it's eaten out and it looks like it's kind of an L shape, which could also be conceived to be a handgun shape. So he picks up his Pop-Tart and says, bang, bang, boom, he's out of there. You cannot, I just had overnight staying with us grandkids, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. You cannot expect a 4 or 5-year-old to understand what you're talking about if you say you can't do that. That's irrational to think that. And then to kick this boy or girl out of school for doing that. It's part of a larger issue, which is to say guns or access to guns or talking about guns or photographs about guns or T-shirts with guns on them are all to be banished. We can't, in some cities, they'll say, well, you can't have a gun store close to a school. Really? People go in there and they buy a product that the FBI has to okay the process every single time. Whenever somebody buys a gun from a gun store, the FBI has to okay the purchase. Unless in some cases when you have a concealed carry permit, which means you've already been checked out and had a full background check. So we have a highly regulated product being sold from a store that has more checks on it than any drugstore ever had, where the people who are working there have to have background checks done. And you're saying, oh, no, we can't have that near school. Because, and here's the thing you have to understand, because in their minds, that is at least as bad and has the same kind of oozing nasty effect as pornography, as a strip joint, as something like that. What they're really saying, when you cut right through it, what they're really saying is, we don't want those people anywhere around here. It's not the guns. It's actually never about the guns when you start drilling down. It's always about those people. We don't want, morons, people who don't have college educations, the dodos, to continue on that theme. We don't want those people in our neighborhood. We're not going to, it would be an attractive nuisance, Nimrods. An attractive nuisance. You would be bringing in the riffraff of the world, gun people. Of course, these are from people who don't understand that their doctor, their lawyer, their dentist, their hygienist, their school teachers are gun owners and active shooters and competitive shooters and hunters and people who carry guns for self-defense. The time I went into my lawyer's office, he pulls out a loaded shotgun. He says, I keep this underneath my desk at all times. Sweet. Makes sense to me. All right. You're out in the woods and a mountain lion stalks your children. What are you going to do? It just happened in Arizona.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All righty, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or Tom-TALK-GUN if you're on your cell phone. Let's see here. Let's a new report. Fatal firearms accidents hit record low. Figures reported in the National Safety Council's recently released Injury Facts 2017 edition show fatal firearm accidents for the latest reporting period, 2014 to 15, dropped to the lowest level since record keeping began in 1903. Overall, total accidental deaths were up by 8%. Total accidental deaths, not gun, from the previous year, up 8%. Although gun incidents dropped by 17% during the same period. Let's see. This would be 2014-15. Do you remember that time when you couldn't find guns and people are buying every gun they could get? They're buying all the ammo they could find, and they're buying guns by the millions upon millions upon millions. More guns, more gun owners, more ammo, more people carrying. Accidental firearms deaths down by 17%. Let me go over this again, because when somebody starts talking to you about, we have all these shooting accidents, the epidemic of shooting accidents. Really? The lowest level since record keeping began in 1903. That's not the NRA saying that. That's the National Safety Council saying that. Line 3, Steve's with us out of Terry, Mississippi. Steve, what drives you crazy?
All right, Tom. You expect craziness from the media and everybody, but it's strange to see something in the current National Rifleman magazine advertising for Colt firearms. On page 11, in the second picture towards the bottom, it shows the instructor or whomever he is holding the Colt Cobra like he'd hold the 1911 with his thumb extended down the side, and it's past the end of the cylinder. It almost looks like he's even past the lower frame. If he were to pull a trigger there, he'd lose that thumb.
So this wasn't an ad. This was an article in the American Rifleman?
No, this is an ad by Colt advertising their new Cobra.
Okay. Now, here's the question. Do we know this was an instructor, or do we think this might just be somebody they said, hey, go out there and hold this gun?
Well, I don't know. You know, it's part of the ad. He's wearing a Colt cap.
Right.
He's got his headphones on, his glasses on. You know, he's doing everything right except very, very bad hand placement.
My guess is, I'm just saying, this, I'm trying to find a way to have this make some sense. It could be, and I've seen this happen before, where you get an ad agency that goes out and hires a model, and they're doing almost everything right. And then they do that one thing. And then for those who don't know what we're talking about, you could take, if you're holding a gun right-handed and you got your left hand on it, if it's a semi-auto, you can stick your left thumb way out there, and it's kind of it's a thing now, and it helps you shoot faster and better. But if you do that with a revolver, you actually stick your thumb out past the front part of the cylinder, and right there's a little bitty gap between the cylinder and the barrel. And when you shoot, there is a jet of high speed, almost plasma-like gas that comes blowing out of there, and it will either cut or cut off your thumb if your thumb is sticking out there. Now, I will say this, Steve, anybody that shoots that way, that is a self-correcting problem.
Yeah.
Wow, I got to go find my American Rifleman and look at that. But because I know there are several good shooters at Colt, and none of them would pull a stunt like that. So I'm going to guess maybe that was a model that they pressed into service, which, once again, is one of the reasons that I wish and look, thanks for the call. I wish gun companies would hire ad agencies who know something about guns and shooting. Oh, yeah, but man, did you see that great campaign they did for Ford trucks? Uh-huh. They'd be the same guys who did the ad I saw, and the guy is fishing with a spinning reel, and the guy fishing has the reel above the rod. It is upside down. Guy looks great. Setting is wonderful. Everything else, oh yeah, he's never held a fishing rod in his life. Which goes back to, I was mentioning it last week, we were at this thing, we're shooting the video for our Gun Venture television series, and you got stuntmen and actors there trying to learn how to shoot, how to hold their guns right. And they're doing live fire, and they're going to end up doing moving and shooting and all the rest of it. But while we were there, actually, we had Ryan, who, of course, co-host of the show. He actually did a demo for them with the new Ruger Red Hawk 8-shot 357 Magnum, and we took a piece of paper and draped it over the top of the revolver. It's not sticking in front of the muzzle, but it's draping basically around the cylinder, and fired it, and it just, that gas that we're talking about that shoots out between the cylinder and the barrel, it just blew this paper up. You know, and he explained to them what we were doing, and then we shot it. And it's kind of like everybody went, whoa. And it was funny, one of the instructors there said, well, why would anybody ever shoot a revolver? Goes, yeah, okay, you're new, aren't you? I mean, you may be good at what you do, but you don't understand. Also, if you're an actor, you may be handed a revolver at some point. Stuntman, the same thing. And even with blanks, Blanks are pretty powerful. People have been killed with blanks. You do not want to have your hand out there or maybe crank one off with the cylinder beside your head. Yeah, wouldn't be good. 866. What are the crazy things you see in movies with guns that just drive you nuts? 866 Talk Gun.
Laser sights offer an immediate advantage when visibility is poor and seconds count. Laser sights can de-escalate a deadly encounter by engaging the target with a laser, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
Smith & Wesson Performance Center firearms combine old-world hand craftsmanship with modern technology. Carry comfortably and confidently with Performance Center pistols and revolvers. Or take aim with their fine-tuned modern sporting rifles. For unique designs and special features, experienced shooters look to the Performance Center for all their firearms needs. Performance Center by Smith & Wesson. Performance when it matters most. For more, go to smith-wesson.com/PC.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
With the 866 Talk Gun. Ooh. Smith & Wesson launches rebate offer. That's cool. Smith & Wesson announced today, this is a day or two ago, the start of the Savings You Can Carry consumer mail-in rebate promotion. Several of the company's most popular, yada, 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 $75 rebate. Wow, a $75 rebate on M&P Shield. Okay, that's good. That's serious money. Because you do some shopping around, you can find a shield at a good price. You can get a rebate. Check it out. Go to the Smith & Wesson website, smith-wesson.com/rebates. That's good stuff. There you go. David's on line 1 out of Medford, Oregon, with a beef about ammo. Hey, David.
Yeah, I was just curious. It seems the 22 ammo drought is over, but it seems to me like the flood happened too soon after, so it sort of leads you to believe that there was an artificially induced drought just to escalate the prices the way the lumber industry has escalated the prices of lumber based upon, well, we can't cut this tree because the marbled murrelet, the spotted owl, whatever, so now we can cut half the timber, get 3 times the money, and we don't have to hire as many people just to make the same amount of money at the corporate level. 22 ammo seems to have done the same thing, and I work in the industry of boat building, and the cost of materials have gone up, no doubt, but not 3 times, and 22 ammo has tripled since the drought began. It's like, it seems to me to be an artificially induced drought. Oh, and by the way, Tom, I want to let you know, yeah, you are right. You only hold your thumb forward of the cylinder once.
Uh-oh, that sounds like experience talking.
Oh, no, I watched it happen, and I told somebody, I was a firearms instructor, and I told people, you don't do this, this is why, and they didn't pay attention, and then they learned. But like I said, that just seems to be an interesting anomaly with the 22 ammo, because I've been to a dozen stores in 3 weeks, and there are stacks of it. Not just, and I know that they haven't been manufacturing that much more than they were before, so it seems like it was being held in supply and reserve. We'll feed the market, elevate the price, and like drugs, we'll just...
All right, wait. Let me get a word in here, Dave, because here's the thing. I think the prices have gone back down significantly. I'm looking at 22 long rifle ammo at a nickel a round. So there may be places that had it marked up when they were having to pay more for it. But I'm not sure what you're seeing, but a nickel a round, is not terrible.
Well, I could buy a brick of ammunition, 500 rounds, for about $17 in Medford. Mm-hmm. And I just went into Field and Stream here, and a brick of ammunition is $30. That same amount of ammunition is $31. And I'm thinking, wow, it's 500 rounds for $31. That to me is just that is a controlled drug feed.
Well, I know what you're saying, and I get your outrage. And here's the problem: you and I both suffer from the same thing. We're old enough to remember when stuff didn't cost as much. And now we start to sound like our parents and our grandparents. Well, I remember when a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, a car only cost. Okay, yeah, that was then, this is now. And if that was 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, when you could buy a brick of 22 for $17, you're not going to be able to buy it for that now. Prices have gone up. Materials have most certainly, and trust me on this, materials have very much gone up. Lead, copper, brass, all of that. You've got more players in the global market for it. China, India, others, they're buying it up. And so our guys, if they want to use it, they have to pay more for it, our manufacturers. And here's the other part. There are enough people making 22 ammo around the world that if some ammo maker in the U.S. was artificially trying to hold prices high, somebody would come screaming in here from Mexico or Sri Lanka or Turkey or someplace and drop 1 billion rounds into the market and make a bunch of money. Nobody, trust me, nobody is artificially holding up the prices. In fact, I haven't gotten the official word, but it's like almost kind of semi-official, the word that CCI in Lewiston, Idaho is going to either expand or build another 22 manufacturing plant. That's a lot of money. That's a major commitment. I mean, I've heard weird numbers of how much that might cost, but it's, it's like tens of millions, might be $25 to $50 million to build a rimfire ammo plant. Not sure, but, it's just, there it is. There's just a lot that goes into it. And trust me when I say you don't want a half-vast ammo plant when you're making priming compound and you're putting it into cartridges and stuff can blow up. You want it all to be state-of-the-art and make it work, very, very well. And Michelle adds, these manufacturers are all trying to catch up to orders that were placed several years ago. That's certainly true. So you have that at work too. But when I'm looking around here, I'm seeing 22 ammo at, 5, 6, 7 cents a round. And yes, I remember being able to buy a brick of 22 ammo, 500 rounds for $5. That doesn't mean that somebody's gouging today. It just means that I'm old. And I remember that stuff. And I started shooting when I was like 6. So, yeah, the prices aren't the same. But I also bought my first car for brand new for $1,800. So that's a whole different deal, too. I get the frustration. Trust me, I do. But then again, for $30 for 500 rounds of 22, you take 2 or 3 people to the movies, you're going to spend more than that. And this is a lot of recreational entertainment. I'm telling you, a good rifle, a pistol, and 500 rounds of 22 ammo. We got a fabulous day at the range. 866-TALK-GUN. right, back with you here. Let's see. I do want to go to line 4, Amos, out of Kansas. Amos, what drives you crazy when you're watching TV or movies when they're handling guns?
You ever notice anytime they point a gun, it's got to make them a metal-touching metal sound? They point one direction, you hear the click. You point another direction, you hear the click. And I know they're not all rocking sticks and dropping the hammer every time. That just drives me absolutely nuts. I mean, I've been shooting for a while, and I must have one of them special silencers that keeps all the metal parts from going. So I don't know if I've got the proper ATF stamp on that or not, but
I know what you're talking about. They'll actually draw a gun out of a holster, and then you hear chick, chick. You go, wait, what?
Exactly.
What was that?
What is that?
What is that?
I got to give a hat off to somebody, though. Keanu Reeves, if you've ever seen him fire a firearm, especially in the John Wick movies, that guy went through some intense training, and watching him shoot is somebody, he's obviously a fairly decent athlete, but he's transferred that into his shooting skills and takes his craft seriously. And Keanu Reeves will always get roles in action movies that they wanted other actors because he answers the phone, okay?
Well, you know what it is? Keanu Reeves has spent days, or if not weeks, with Taron Butler, top 3-gun competitor and guy who trains people. So he's not just a guy that knows how to handle a gun. He's a guy that knows how to shoot a gun and actually shoot it well. And boy, does it ever come off in his movies.
Absolutely. And to drive a point that you talk about every week, I had my bachelor party yesterday. I shot over 1,000 rounds personally. It was the best time I've had in a long time. But finding people that know what they do, that have fruit on the tree, what I call, real actual experience and can prove it, learning from those guys like Keanu Reeves has done, it just shows so much there, the importance of great training and just following the basics. And you look at it, his shooting skills are phenomenal, but you look at his form and how he is, it's just one of those, wow, this guy has learned something from somebody that knows what they're doing.
Well, he's a real deal. Exactly. Amos, thank you for the call. I got to share with everybody, I was talking to these stunt guys and actors. They said, actually, a lot of these guys will simply lie, actors and stuntmen. I said, do you know guns? Oh, yeah. And I love the story. They said, we asked one guy, says, you know how to work a lever action? Oh, yeah, sure. So they hand him a lever action, and you get up there and he shoots, and he's supposed to shoot several rounds, and nothing happens, and finally, cut. What's going on here? So I don't know, man. I kept pulling the trigger, but nothing was happening. Yeah, lever actions, Mr. Marlin. But they said there's a lot of folks who simply lie about everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know how to do that. And so what these guys are doing is actually getting a certificate that says, I've been through this 5-day school of gun handling, of shooting, so they can handle guns well. And also, frankly, and they said, I want to be safe on set. People get killed on movie sets with more frequency than you would imagine. These blanks will kill people. You don't have to go very far. Was it John Philip Ekstrom? Was it Brandon Lee, I guess, some others. I mean, there have been gun handling on a set is pretty specialized. It should be. And they generally will, if it's blanks, they will load it up and put it in an actor's hand. And then as soon as the scene's over, the prop master or the gun wrangler comes over and takes it out of his or her hand. Got to be careful with that. And I know that at one time Tom Selleck was doing something, and he made the news. He yelled, I think, at another actor about the bad and unsafe gun hang. Don't point that gun at me. Well, it's just a movie gun. It's just blanks. Yeah, well, no. All guns are always loaded, same deal. 4 rules of gun safety, exactly. So, all right, so the question on the floor is, what do you like and don't like about movie gun handling? All right, here's one for you. How much does it drive you crazy when they're shooting and they're faking the recoil? Or if they're shooting and there's no recoil? I mean, either one. It's got to be one or the other, but in this case, they get it wrong both ways. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.